Good morning, good afternoon. I am out at some meetings today, so I'm going to run through with you what you need to do in class. First thing that I'm going to have the guest teacher do is on the next tab over, there is a performance of the first song from Hamilton, which we just heard a little bit of yesterday on that PBS video. But the song is called Alexander Hamilton, and it is a performance by the original cast. So I'm just going to show you a couple of things, and then I'm going to have them hit pause. Okay, so the cast performed at the White House a few years ago, and so just to give you some idea of who is who as they're starting to sing here, this first guy is playing Aaron Burr, so you probably recognize him from the video yesterday. Remember, he is an enemy of Hamilton, and so when he starts singing, and a lot of the lines he says definitely kind of carry that weight of frustration and anger and jealousy with Hamilton. This next guy right here, he actually plays two parts, and actually a couple of these guys, they play two parts. They play one character in Act 1, and that's usually like, the first half of the musical, and then another character in Act 2. So in Act 1, this guy plays Philip Laurens, which is like a friend of Hamilton's, and in Act 2, he actually plays Hamilton's son, Philip. So, sorry, John Laurens, and then his son, Philip. So he plays that. This guy we saw yesterday, some of you just for a little bit, but he plays Marquis de Lafayette in the first part, and then he plays Thomas Jefferson in the second part. This guy plays Hercules Mulligan, who's a friend of Hamilton's, in the first part, and then he plays James Madison in the second part. James Madison is, again, kind of becomes an enemy of Hamilton, and then obviously Hamilton, and then this woman plays his wife, Eliza, and then this is the guy who plays Washington. So I'm going to have the guest teacher pause the video now, and then play this video for you, and then we'll come back after this, and I'll explain what you're going to do next. So, you guys are going to get this paper document today, and the way that it works is the lyrics to this first song are kind of on the left-hand side, front and back, and then I've got some questions and some things for you to do on the right-hand side. I'm just going to run through what those are so I can explain those, and then you guys will get the piece of paper and you'll start working on this. I'm okay today if you work with a partner on this. Your job is to have this done for tomorrow when I get back. So the first thing you're going to do, in these lines right here, they kind of match up with whatever set of lyrics is to the left of them. So this one says, circle one or more words that describe Burr's feelings towards Hamilton based on the lyrics. Jealous, proud, frustrated. Underline or highlight the lyrics that show you that feeling. So remember, Burr's going to start off singing and look for things that maybe indicate one or more of these words. The next one says, without using any of the same words, list 4 different characteristics Laurens describes to us that Hamilton has. So in this section right here, don't repeat any of the exact words he uses, but kind of rewrite them, 4 of them. Based on Jefferson and Madison's lyrics, what does Hamilton do to survive? So we're going to talk a lot about his kind of younger years and how he makes it through. I'd like you to list 5 things that they say that he does. The next question says, what do you think Burr means by using the word insane to describe Hamilton? So you're going to kind of look at the connotation of that word. Like, what does that word mean in this context, and kind of describe it below. According to Eliza's lyrics right here, how does Hamilton become an orphan? You can answer that. And then we've got this song has a bunch of really neat new vocabulary. I never knew actually what a treatise was before hearing this song. That I want you to find some synonyms for these 4 words. Treatise, astute, destitute, and restitution. And just write those synonyms next to those. And then what do these lyrics by Washington and Burr prove about Hamilton? So these lyrics right here. According to these lyrics, again on the left-hand side, and without repeating them, what type of a person is Hamilton remembered as? And then kind of as a conclusion, can you write a 2-sentence summary of what you've learned about Alexander Hamilton based on all the lyrics? So you're going to do that today. Aside from this last part here that should be in sentences, the rest of it can be in bullet points. And feel free to, as you're working through this, annotate on the left-hand side here to help you make sense of what's going on. I didn't have you define a bunch of words on the left, but if there are words that you don't understand, please, please, please look them up. Like this is kind of a tough line. Dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished in squalor. That's kind of tough. It's not a bad idea to take a look at that. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but all of these words, if you just looked those up independently and then kind of put their meanings together, it would make more sense what Burr was saying. So if you see any of those things in here, please do that. And again, this sheet should be completed for tomorrow. Okay, then the last thing you're going to do, and this is going to be independent because you're going to have to listen to some of these songs. If you don't have headphones today, I want you to just click on the lyrics, which will take you to a document that has the lyrics versus the song itself. If you have headphones, listen to the song. But there's 4 other songs that we're going to be taking a look at, and we're actually going to be working more on this on Thursday, but I'm going to have you guys start this. So there's other characters that we talked about yesterday. Aaron Burr, King George III. We've not talked about this guy, Samuel Seabury, but you'll understand about him in a second. And then I'm grouping these 3, John Lawrence, Hercules Mulligan, and Marquis de Lafayette, kind of all together. And optional stuff for Hamilton. So what you're going to do, and you can see my example up here, is you're going to listen to these songs, and I have underneath here the different characters that are featured in each of these songs. And based on the lyrics, you are going to come up with character traits. So you can see that what I want you to write is what song you listened to, what the actual lyric was, and then the character trait that you are inferring. And sometimes it might be more than one character trait. So for example, for Alexander Hamilton, there's a line that says he got a lot farther by working a lot harder. So I could infer that means he's very accomplished, or it means he's very persistent. Alexander Hamilton, again, same song. Inside he was longing for something to be a part of. I could infer he was kind of lonely. I have a list of character traits. If you click on this link right here, it'll open up in a new tab. Just some kind of words for you to think about, which might work for some of the characters that you're trying to identify some traits for. So this won't actually be due until Friday, and we won't work on it tomorrow, and you'll have some time on Thursday. But I want you to get started on this if you have some time. This is on Google Classroom. You have one assigned to you on Google Classroom. So after you're done with your Hamilton lyrics here, which is due tomorrow, independently then go back and open up this document on Google Classroom, and then you can start by looking at some of the songs or listening to some of the songs, and then completing some of this stuff below. Okay? Have a good day. Thanks for being respectful. I'll see you guys tomorrow.